Hello, today I want to present a topic on targeting vascular endothelial growth factor in cancer. So firstly, I want to introduce you to this vascular endothelial growth factor family. There are 5 types of growth factor, A, B, C, D, and also we have VEGF, placenta growth factor. And there are 3 types of receptors and 2 types of co-receptors in this pathway. So the co-receptors are MP1 and MP2. But the important thing is that in cancer, it is VEGF-A that plays an important role in tumor angiogenesis, and it is VEGFR2, receptor 2, that is important in tumor. So this figure summarizes broadly 2 types of therapies targeting this vascular signaling pathway of the tumor. So the first type is it is basically antibodies. So we have antibodies targeting VEGF, so it binds to the growth factor. So the growth factor cannot bind to its receptor to trigger further intracellular signaling cascade. We also have VEGF trap that binds to the growth factor more tightly than the first type of antibody. And antibodies targeting VEGFR2 is also effective. As I mentioned earlier, it's receptor 2 that plays a key role in the tumor vessels. So the second type, they are tyrosine kinase inhibitor, TKI. So they inhibit tyrosine kinase of all these type of VEGF receptors, again to block this pathway and to block the intracellular signaling. So all these therapy, different mechanisms, they not only target endothelial cells of the tumor, but also other cell types in the tumor, like dendritic cells, and they ultimately aim to reduce the vascular function of the tumor. So I want to briefly introduce 2 types of drugs that are clinically in use. So the first type is bevacizumab. They are humanized monoclonal antibodies derived from murine cells. They selectively bind to VEGF, so basically they are the first type, the receptor that I was talking about. And usually these drugs, they need to be combined with other chemotherapy for the patient. And another type is sorafenib. They belong to the second type that I was talking about. They are multi-kinase inhibitor. They act on all 3 types of receptors and inhibit their tyrosine kinase. They are usually taken orally and broken down in the liver. So lastly, I want to talk about the effects of this type of anti-VEGF therapy. So firstly, the image on the left, it captured the vessels of tumor cells, and it was taken before anti-VEGF treatment. And the image in the middle was taken 7 days into the anti-VEGF treatment, and we can see that the blood flow reduced and the vessels also reduced. However, I want to point out the limitation of this type of anti-VEGF therapy. As we can see the image on the right here, this was taken 7 days after they stopped the anti-VEGF treatment. And we can see that only after 7 days, the vessels and blood flows returned to the baseline level. So it is reversible, this type of treatment, and it is the limitation. And lastly, because this vascular signaling pathway does not only exist in tumor, it also exists in other parts of our body as like a normal signaling pathway. There will be side effects of different severities. So typical side effects are hypertension and gastrointestinal bleeding. Thank you.